What's happening, good people? Welcome to the channel. I'm Wes, aka Mr. Budget Watch, and today we are putting, in my opinion, two of the best Willard homages head to head to see which is better. Is it worth saving and getting the San Martin, or should you save some money and get the Steeldive? That's what we're going to be finding out today. Now, if you've never seen watch wars, there are 10 rounds, 10 points per round, and the winner is the watch with the most points at the end. So let's dive in, and we're actually going to take a look at design first. And I've actually given the edge slightly to the San Martin. I think I just prefer the the shade of green used. It's a little bit darker and a little bit I don't know, it's just nice. It's just a little bit more refined in its styling. I do like the applied logo a little bit more than the printed one. And also the indices you can actually see are a little bit bigger and a little bit bolder and just easier to read. The printing is done to a better standard. The finishing is done, to a better standard, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, it's just an overall better done. I like the crown as well. Even though I said in the review it's a little bit sharp, it's really easy to use, and it's definitely a good thing in ways. The Steeldive, it's got a nice crown, but I just think this one looks nicer, and I just think proportionally this one suits the watch a little bit better, whereas this one, it's a little bit small. But yeah, design wise, I've just give the slight edge, just a personal preference design. You might prefer the Steeldive, I just personally prefer the San Martin. So now we're going to talk build, and actually the San Martin does take a slight win. This one is just better built. The finishing on the side, the high polish is done to a little bit better standard. The brushing is a better standard as well. The finishing on the dial is a better standard. The hands are better done. So yeah, it's definitely just an overall better done watch. But then again, it is more expensive. The Steeldive, is not a bad finished watch. It's it's pretty well done. Nice smooth brushing. Good in uniform, nice quality polishing as well. Not as nice as the San Martin, but still impressive for the price point. So I can't knock too much for this one, but the San Martin is just better done. But again, it's more expensive, you'd expect that. So now we're going to talk a little bit a shock actually, the bezel. Obviously I usually do bracelet, but with this being on a strap and a bracelet, it's not really a fair comparison. But if you do want to know, I prefer the silicone strap. It's just more comfortable for me. And I do like how it looks as well. But you can actually get this on a bracelet now as well if you do prefer the bracelet, but that costs a little bit more. This one comes on a bracelet, and you do actually get another strap included with it as well. I'm not sure if every seller includes a secondary strap, but I did get one from the seller on eBay. He included a silicone one, so I'm not sure if it does come with one straight from AliExpress. Anyway, moving back onto the bezel, and I've actually given the win to Steeldive. Yes, shocking. And there is one reason for that, the grip. This grip is so much better than that one. Even though I prefer the action and the sort of smoothness of that one, this one is just easier to use. Nice sound, solid feeling as well. When it's clicked into place, it does not move. Really impressive for a watch at this price point. Now this one, again, really nice. Different sound, definitely sounds more premium. It's got that Seiko feel to it. Not quite as refined as a Seiko, but still pretty good. Just the grip, it's just not good enough compared to this one. If they'd have used, the bezel edge of this one on this, it would have been, much better. But this, I'm just going to give it a surprise win. Was not expecting that, but when I compared them side by side, this to me is just more easy to use, and it's still good, well clicked, well defined. So yeah, slight edge there. So now we're going to talk comfort, and again, this one's going to be a little bit mixed, cause bracelet, strap. It's kind of personal preference as well. Do you prefer thingy or thingy? I've given them both the same. I know I'm waffling a bit, but yeah, both the same score, because I find them equally as comfortable. I personally do prefer a silicone strap over a bracelet on dive watches. It's just a personal preference, but yeah. But for comfort, can't really differentiate the two. I mean, the watch cases are, they're pretty similar. I mean, there is some differences with the San Martin. If you look at the, the crown guards, they are ever so slightly bigger on the San Martin, a little bit beefier. But that doesn't really impact comfort. And also obviously the case backs are ever so slightly different as well. I think the San Martins is a little flatter, It doesn't protrude as much as the Steeldive. You know, you can see this one is quite a bit deeper than the San Martin. This one's a little bit more recessed. So comfort, you know, you can't really differentiate the two. Both are really comfortable on their you know, supply straps. I can't really comment on the braceleted version for this one because I've not had one, but I can imagine it's, you know, equally as good as this one. So moving on to the closest bout, the Lume. And this one was very close, only by half a point difference in favour of the San Martin. And the reason why is because the Lume is just more consistent. It's a little bit laster longing and it keeps an even brightness. This one, you'll notice that the hands sort of fade a little bit quicker than the rest of it, but it's still a very solid Lume. This one just fades, like I said, a lot more smoothly and gradually and evenly. So everything is sort of like the same brightness level throughout, which I think is really quite important. This one, you know, it's really bright, really good and does last a while, but it just fades a little bit uneven. So I've just given this slight edge to the San Martin. I just think it's a little bit more refined in how it's done, but this one is still very impressive for the price point as well, which is why I've scored it so high, because of, well, again, how affordable it is. Movement, basically the same NH35, so there's no difference really whatsoever. Both score exactly the same. Solid, reliable, robust, great feature set. Can't really say much more about it. Both work exactly the same, both really easy to use movements, hacking, hand winding, all that good stuff. So yeah, can't really differentiate the two. So let's move on to the next category of water resistance. And both of them again score the same. 200 meters, I'd say I'd be comfortable swimming with both. Diving, I'd say snorkeling, you're probably going to be fine with both. Deep diving, yeah, I probably wouldn't, you know, with either of these, to be fair. For that, you definitely want a Prospex Seiko that's ISO certified. These ones, yeah, like I said, swimming pool, you're probably going to be fine. You know, if you're surfing or something like that, again, probably fine with both. Any more than that, you know, then you're going to be looking at, you know, a proper Citizen or a Seiko that's verified. So now let's move on to availability, and I've actually give the slight edge to the Steeldive, and I think it's just a little bit easier to get hold of. I mean, the San Martin, I think they've actually got their own store now, so that does bump the, you know, that up a little bit. But I think this one, you know, you can get them on Amazon quite easily now. They're all over eBay, AliExpress as well, and I think these have actually got their own store as well. So definitely more availability for these and easier to get hold of. Whereas San Martin, you know, they're still relatively easy to get hold of, but just not as easy as this one. So now we're going to talk brand, and I've actually scored the San Martin a little bit higher, not only because I prefer the brand name, and I think San Martin are now known as one of the best watches to come out of, you know, China and AliExpress. I think they've just made a real impact in the industry. They're known for quality. Even though the prices have started like increasing quite a lot, I think their quality is improving along with that as well. Steeldive prices haven't really altered that much over the years. I think they've creeped up a little bit, but that's just with inflation really. Whereas San Martin, of course, you know, they've increased theirs quite a little bit more than inflation rate. It happens though. I mean, they've bumped up the quality quite a lot. Whereas Steeldive, you know, they're slowly improving, I've seen. There is a couple of little problems with this one though. The bracelet fitment on mine isn't very good. Now, I'm not sure if this is like an older one or not. I mean, the seller really didn't specify if it was an older release or if it was a brand new release. I'm not really sure, but my sample, you know, bit of a loose fitting bracelet. So yeah, I mean, quality wise, both are really impressive for their respective price points. And we round out this head-to-head with the price. And I've actually given the win to the Steeldive. If you can pick one of these up sub 70 quid, I think you're laughing. It is a fantastic watch. It's well made. The Lume's fantastic. You know, it's really good quality. Little tiny issue with my sample with the bracelet wobble, like I mentioned already, but it is still a fantastic watch. Easy to, you know, improve. You know, you can pop a mil clasp on it for quite cheap. And it, you know, it's just a fantastic watch. Can't really say much more than that for the price point. This is also a fantastic watch, but you are paying a premium. Is that premium worth it? In this case, I don't know when the Steeldive is available for what it is. Unless you really, really want that slightly better finishing, that slightly better lume, and you know, that's just slight better in every aspect, just about, apart from the bezel, then the San Martin is the one that you want. But the bargain lover in me, I'm thinking Steeldive takes this one. Do you agree? Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And of course, follow me on social media at Mr. Budget Watch. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.